Hey everyone, how are we today? I'm just doing an all signs reading, looking at the person that you're not currently in contact with today. So I will just let everybody know if you do leave if you do leave a comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for that free personal reading. I'll be drawing that when we hit 100 subscribers. So thank you everybody for all your likes and subscribes so far. I really appreciate the support. I'm hoping to grow the channel just a little bit so that we can, make sure those messages are getting to everyone that needs to hear them. But today I will be I've got the Magpie Lenormand with me. I do have some new decks today. So this is the Magpie Lenormand. So there is some small changes in this deck as opposed to the traditional decks. There is 3 extra cards and they have actually taken out the masculine and feminine elements. So we won't be seeing those popping up today, but we may be seeing some of those new cards coming through. I also have the Romantic Fairy Oracle. So this is a lovely new deck there. It does have those sort of 50s pin-up sort of pictures, the romance novel sort of pictures there to go with the ideas behind them. Quite a lot of cards in this deck as well. So it is all based on, love connections as well. So definitely will be seeing some strong messages coming through with those. So like I said, brand new decks today, so it'll be interesting to see how they sort of start working together straight away. I have sort of spent some time with them already and set my intentions with the decks and those sorts of things, but this will be the first sort of big reading I'm doing with them. I have only done personal readings with these decks so far, so it will be very interesting to see how they play together for a love reading. It's always an adventure when you get a new deck to see how they are going to work with your style of reading. So I'm very interested to see how this Magpie's Lenormand is going to play out with us today. The Oracle decks do tend to be sort of pretty straightforward a lot of the time with the Oracle decks. But those Lenormand decks, they do have slight differences between each deck. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how that comes through intuitively today. Obviously I am an intuitive reader and I do, use the imagery and that sort of stuff with each individual deck. So it'll be good to get a hang of what this deck's vibe is all about. So far it is seeming like a very sort of multi kind of purpose deck. It may also lead to some more positive messages, I feel, this deck. So I had to get it though because it's called the Magpie's Lenormand and I'm here in Australia, and the magpie is one of the birds that you see everywhere in Australia. Quite noisy birds, so it'll be lovely to be able to feel like I've got a bit of my own, you know, the magpies. I see magpies out of my window every single day. Off my balcony, I do see magpies every single day. I've got a couple that come and visit my house. So it'll be, quite, I feel as though it's going to work out really well for us today. But I'll stop blathering on there and I'll get started today. I'm going to start today with Aries and then work through. I will start with that Oracle deck, but as always, you will see me, taking those timestamps as well. So start with Aries. Okay, Aries and the person that you are not in contact with. What's going on with Aries and the person that they are not in contact with, please? Okay, Aries, we do straight away have the friendly support card has come out there. So that does say fairies, guides, and friends give you aid. Okay, so relying on your support network at the moment, when it comes to this no contact situation, when I do see a support sort of card, it does sort of let us know that there is some emotional issues, going on with that no contact situation, so that, you may be hurting from not being in contact with this particular person. So relying on your support network at this time and talking things through with them. And even if that support network is just, as it says in the card, fairies and guides, that kind of thing, whatever it is that you turn to for that spiritual support, going to be important at this time. We do also have the self-love card, Aries. So it says, love yourself first. Okay, so obviously looking at a period of really really looking after yourself, number one, and working on maybe some healing from this no contact situation as well. Okay, Aries, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. What's going on with Aries and the person that they are not in contact with? Oh, lovely. Straight away getting one of those new cards coming out. Okay, and advice for Aries in this no contact situation, please. Okay, Aries. So when it comes to this situation, first and foremost, I do have the dog coming out there. So that is, representative of that friendly support card that we did see straight away there. So once again, it does talk about friendship, relying on your support network, relying on friends to talk through things, that kind of a thing. So, if you are in an emotional state when it comes to this no contact situation, talking to a friend, it may also give you like an alternate perception of what's going on as well. All right. So, we do see a strong sense of loyalty and support and compassion coming from your support network, your friends at the moment. Okay. With that card. We also have the moth. Okay, so the moth there, like I said, it is one of the brand new cards. So what we're sort of seeing is with these three brand new cards in this particular deck, we do see the chrysalis, the caterpillar, and then the moth. Okay, so with the moth, it's talking about that transformation that they go through. The different stages of things, and with the moth, that's the final transformation where you're really about to open your wings and fly free. All right, so it really does talk about personal freedom from this situation, flying off into, we do find moths go straight to the light. So whatever the light is for you, whether it's this person that you're not in contact with, or something else, it's talking about setting yourself free and flying straight for the light. A lot of the time the light is going to be the things that make you happy. And with that dog card there as well, it's really sort of talking about, flying straight to those friends. They're probably a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for you at the moment. But that's what I'm kind of finding with this moth card. It is kind of that light at the end of the tunnel kind of vibe. So whatever transformation this no contact situation has been going through, whether that is, for some of you that may be, that no contact situation is, we're just looking at personal growth and learning from that situation, and not being back in contact with that person. But for others of you, it's definitely actually going to be talking about the final stages of this no contact situation, that situation has transformed dramatically, and that there may actually be contact coming in soon, because the third card I have drawn there is the rider. All right, and so the rider really does talk about, good news on the way. So I really do feel for like probably majority of the Aries out there that this actually, has been no contact for a reason, that you've both maybe both of you, I feel very strongly, Aries, that you have needed to go through some healing and some transformation, while you've been no contact with this person. And now we're sort of heading into that stage where, one or the other of you is able to sort of move forward and bring good news to the other. Whether that good news is, look, I want to come in contact with you again, or if that is, just good news of something that's occurring in, one or the other's life, those kinds of things. But definitely, a lot of quick movement with the rider. So I do feel as though I can't really pinpoint whether this is you or them coming toward the other, but I do feel with that writer that a lot of the time that does sort of indicate that there will be some sort of contact coming up between the two of you. Like we're seeing here with that moth hitting that final stage of transformation needed in order to, have that contact again and come in swiftly, to or from this person. And seeing that, the good news is that, look, we have transformed. This whole situation has transformed us. I do feel as though it's probably both of you, to be honest, that have, transformed quite a lot during this period of no contact. Even if that no contact is only a matter of days, I do feel as though it's been very transformative for both of you, and now able to sort of, ride towards each other and head into the sunset together, head to that light together. I feel for majority of you there that we are actually looking at the end of a no contact situation, the final transformation. So like I said with that friendship card, talking it through with your friends may be really beneficial at the moment to, either let you know, like if you do want to contact this person, let you know, maybe they've got a different perception on how you should reach out to this person in order to reconcile with this person. They may have some extra advice for you, something that you didn't see about the situation, something that you didn't even realize about how much you have transformed in this time as well. And then when it comes to your advice, Aries, first and foremost, we do have the clover coming on out there. And now you can kind of see in this clover image, there is a big giant full moon behind that. And we are coming into the full moon in Capricorn. So the full moon energy will be starting on Sunday, my time. I'm not sure how it's going to be over the other side of the world. I know you guys are a little bit later time-wise than us, but for us here in Australia, it will be Sunday, will be the first sort of day of the full moon, and then the peak on the Monday. So that energy does last for about 3 days, and we also have the pre-full moon energy and whatnot as well. So, with the clover, I just wanted to mention that because I think that's giving us a little bit of a time frame as when you should be taking a risk. Okay, because I'm asking specifically for advice for you, Aries. The clover really does talk about having short-term good luck and having good fortune and being able to take a chance and take a risk. All right, so if you do want to reach out to this person, I would suggest the full moon being a really good opportunity for you to do so. All right. So even if you're just reaching out and saying, look, hey, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I actually want to talk to you. Like, and it may be about nothing, maybe about everything. All right. But it's going to be a really good time to take a chance to actually open that line of communication between you and this person. We are also seeing the tree coming out for you there. So once again, that's very, very linked up with that oracle that we saw, that self-love oracle. The tree really does talk about personal growth, personal self-care. So you really have, I feel like you've changed a lot. You've transformed a lot while this has been no contact. And like I said, I do feel as though it's coming from both of you. But, as an advice to you, it is telling you, look after yourself. But also, maybe talking to this, when you do reach out to this person, take a chance. Let them know how much you've grown and changed. And once again, though, there is that also that similarity to the clover where sometimes the tree actually talks about, go out on a limb, branch out to new things, try different things, and that really going out on a limb, taking a chance. All right, so it's really talking about that as well. But we do also see with the tree, it does have a link to that soul connection between you and somebody as well. And also seeing that full moon imagery behind that tree there, just a dark moon this time. So I definitely am feeling that the full moon may be a really good opportunity for you, Aries, to sort of take the advice and branch out, take that risk. All right. Then we also have the anchor, okay? And so we do have the anchor here. This one is pictured with an octopus. So anyone that sort of does watch my readings regularly will know that I do have a deck that does have an octopus card, and it's a very interesting meaning, the octopus symbology. But with the anchor here, I'm feeling that the octopus is really just talking about the intellect side of things, because octopus are very, very smart, all right, and they can escape locked tanks and all sorts of things. So it's really talking about being really smart about how you're anchoring yourself in this world, being really smart about what you not allowing things to weigh you down in a negative way, but allowing things to hold you in place, hold you steady in a positive way. All right, so there's a reference here to an anchor as well. So obviously it is the anchor card, and the anchor is what the ship will drop so that it can stay in place throughout the storm. All right, so make sure you are quite secure in the place that you are coming from, secure in how much you have grown. All right, and that will hold you steady. All right, so definitely seeing your advice is to hold steady, but also go out on a limb. I feel that steadiness is just within yourself and looking after yourself, and having that self-care for yourself, and thinking about things in a positive manner, Aries. But that's what I have for you, Aries. Let me know in the comments how that resonates for you. Like I said in the intro there, everyone that does comment on one of my videos will go in the draw for a free personal reading. So please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. But moving on to Taurus. How are we, Taurus? Just looking today at the person that you are not in contact with. Okay, so the person that Taurus is not in contact with, please. Taurus and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, so we have the love language affirmations card coming through. So that does say loving words hold great power. All right, so the person that you are not in contact with, there may have been some, words spoken between you that have sort of led to this no contact situation. But words can also, revive the situation if that's what you want, Taurus. It's talking about, positive affirmations, even if that's just to yourself, that those words do hold a lot of power within this connection. And then we also have the Spirit Soul Path card coming through. That does say a personal evolution within your relationship. Okay, so that's definitely sort of talking about the fact that, if we're talking about a relationship in that sense, and some sort of personal evolution, that obviously this no contact situation is really, it looks like it is having the opportunity to reconcile if that's what you do want, Taurus. But we'll see what comes out with the lenormand. Taurus and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Okay, and advice for Taurus with this no contact situation. All right, so Taurus, when we're asking about what's going on with this no contact situation. Firstly, we do have the book coming on out there, and that is actually closely followed by the coffin card. You can see this coffin card is actually represented by the what do you call it? The exoskeleton of a cicada, like this cicada shell. All right, so it's left its cicada shell, and the cicada's gone off somewhere brand new. It's turned into, it's gone off as a cicada, and it's left its shell. It's grown out of this particular shell. So this coffin is very, very representative of that, endings bringing brand new beginnings. Okay, so this cicada had to end this shell of itself in order to fly off and keep going with its life, or whatever it is cicadas do. Party rockin' cicadas, they're very noisy, I know that much. But we do see that with the book combined there and that coffin, that there definitely is something that has ended. Okay, and we're talking about something that has definitely ended. Obviously I feel like that would be why you are currently no contact with this person. The communication has obviously ended if we're watching a no contact reading in regard to this person. But we are seeing a very, very clear ending, like the book was closed on that chapter. You know what I mean? The book does talk about like the chapters, the story of your life, so to speak. So that chapter has finished, and now we so you can kind of imagine the chapter that we've just finished is now just this empty shell. And then the cicada we're seeing here as the albatross flying off into the sunset there. So I'll come to that in a moment. But we're definitely seeing that this chapter has closed. The lid is shut on that coffin, and we have seen the death or the ending of something. So I do feel as though whatever's led to the no contact, it's obviously a pretty big ending in one way or another. It's been quite a solid break, a solid end that's led to this no contact. And whatever's happened between you two, it has really, really closed that chapter. You're not going to be able to go back and rewrite that story. The only way to go from here is forward. All right, you can't go back and reread the same book. You have to actually start a brand new book or a brand new chapter. You can't go back into this shell. That shell is now too small for you. You need to find a new, or create that new shell. I'm going to have to look into cicadas and how that all works, right? Someone out there in the comments, let me know if you do know, what happens to a cicada once they leave their shell. Let me know. I would, it would actually help me a lot. But I feel that they are still like alive, right? After they leave their shell, they take off, and do they grow a new shell? Is that what happens with cicadas? I feel like they grow a new shell, and that's sort of, what happens to cicadas after they leave their shell, or they turn into something else altogether, like a caterpillar type thing. You know how caterpillars go into butterflies? I don't know. Someone let me know. I'm going to have to look into that. But obviously it is a clear ending one way or another. But we are also seeing the albatross card. Okay, and in this particular deck, this is the cross card. But we have seen the albatross symbology in one of the other decks that I do have. We have not only the cross but the albatross as a secondary card, whereas in this deck it actually replaces that cross card altogether. So it really does actually refer to there's this story that goes with the cross and the albatross, and it's about how a long time ago they would shoot down an albatross. When they're out at sea, they would shoot down an albatross in order to make the journey. All right, so if they were lost at sea, sort of a vibe, like they would shoot down an albatross, and that would be their good fortune to make it to their destination. You know, so it was kind of like that sacrifice, you know, sacrificing the life of an albatross, so that they could um, survive and continue on to their destination and have that good fortune. Okay, so obviously we would not do anything like this these days, but you know, it's really just representative of those sort of beliefs, that those superstitions. So there is a very big superstition type element with this card, you know, that following those superstitions. So there may be a particular superstition that's coming to mind for you when it comes to you in this no contact situation. You may have a certain superstition around that. So I don't know how that would be relevant, but if it's relevant to you, take it. If not, leave it. But you know, the overall vibe of the albatross is that, you know, it's like a burden, okay, and you're relying on your spiritual self and your religious belief. You need to have faith, all right, that if you do this will happen. It's talking about having faith, all right, and you know, like it's in the form of superstition in the albatross card, but we do sort of see that if you have faith, you know, it will soar off and everything will work out the way that it's supposed to. Everything, you will reach your destination as long as you have the faith that you're doing the right things. All right, so that ending has definitely given us this opportunity. You know, it was the sacrifice that was needed to be made, that needed to end, and you need to have faith that what will come will be meant to be, regardless of what comes next. That's exactly what is supposed to happen with this connection. Okay, so I'm not sort of seeing a clear, you know, outcome or anything like that, but I am just sort of seeing this as the outcome, that you do need to have faith in this situation, so that, you know, knowing that that ending needed to happen, because, you know, you are like this albatross, and you know, rather than you know, you've sacrificed, you know, the albatross sacrificed life, but you know that you've sacrificed this situation so that you can have that good fortune and reach your true destination. All right, so whatever's happened within this connection, that ending did need to happen. So we are seeing that it was sort of a predestined kind of ending, and that you need to have faith that things are going to work out for you, regardless. All right. So whether or not it's with this same person or not, you know, having faith that it, whatever it will be shall be, kind of a vibe. But when it comes to your advice, we are seeing quite interesting here, because we do have some of the, like I was talking about the cicada reference there. We do have the moth, and then the chrysalis. All right. And then I had that followed up with the birds. All right. So that with the birds on the table, that kind of straight away means that this is in regard to a conversation that you need to have, and you know, letting go of grief. All right. As well as just a side note, let go of any grief that you may have about this situation. But this is specifically talking about a conversation. All right. So your advice is a conversation, basically. But when it comes to that conversation, we are seeing the moth and the chrysalis. All right. And the moth actually came out first, even though that is, you know, what emerges from the chrysalis. So the chrysalis actually comes before the moth, but in the cards have been drawn with the moth actually coming out first. All right. So what we're kind of seeing with that moth is that final transformation, I feel, of yourself. You know, that final transformation, this ending has happened for you to transform and sort of open your wings and spread your wings and fly off into the sunset. And then you will actually be having a brand new chrysalis forming for you. So when it comes to this conversation, I feel as though it's sort of talking about, you know, once again, letting go of that grief is coming to me strongly. But, you know, that moth kind of energy of opening your wings and opening the doors to this conversation, and so that you can actually, you know, get to the bottom of all this and sort of start the process of this transformation. You have actually transformed, but now it's time to, like, you yourself have transformed, but now it's time to transform this situation and put it into its chrysalis, so then it can come out as a moth on the other side. All right, so I feel that this conversation is all about, you know, showing how much you have changed and grown, and this conversation needs to, you know, go into this stage where it's actually healing and working on regrowing, into something that can, you know, fly off into the sunset all by itself. So you've grown, but now this conversation needs to allow this situation to, you know, emerge from its cocoon as well. So this no contact time, I feel, has been, you know, sort of just gestating, for a while, you know, and now it's time to, your advice is to actually have a conversation and, you know, get this process started so that the whole situation can be kind of released or whatever. All right, so that's what I have for you, Taurus. So we'll move over to Gemini. How are we today, Gemini? Just looking at the person that you are not currently in contact with. So Gemini and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Wow, these cards going everywhere today. Okay, so we have two love language cards that have come out here. So firstly, we do have the quality time love language card coming out that does say, be the witness to each other's lives. All right, so I feel like with that one, I feel like someone may be watching you, Gemini, or you may be sort of watching somebody else, you know, watching each other's lives, being the witness to each other's lives. So are you checking up on this person on social media, or are they doing that to you? We're also seeing physical touch coming through. Okay, so a tender touch means so much. Okay, so I do feel for some of you, you know, we are looking at the reason for this no contact being, you know, a lack of emotion, a lack of, you know, maybe quality time or physical touch between you and this person. And that has been what's, you know, part of what's led to this no contact situation. But we'll see what's coming out in the lenormand for you today, Gemini. Gemini and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Okay, and advice for Gemini. Advice for Gemini with this situation, please. Okay, interesting. All right. So when it comes to this situation, firstly, we do have the tower. So this particular tower, you can see there is a spider's web. So, you know, there is a big web, you know, with this particular tower card. It's a very interesting imagery, in this deck. So the tower really does talk, though, about, you know, things that are in the past. This person may be older than you as well. It can talk about somebody older than you, but it does talk about things that are in the past and foundations being laid. So, you know, like I said, with the love languages coming out there, that there may have been a disruption to the foundation of this connection, and that's what's sort of going on with that, and why it is no contact, because, you know, with that disruption to, the foundation, we may be seeing that, yeah, one of you may have been, you know, lacking in that quality time, in that physical touch, and the other one really took that on board, and as, you know, a lack of love. All right, so the tower does sort of suggest to try to rebuild those foundations if you do want to come out of no contact with this person. All right. It also does talk about taking time to yourself, all right? So you can kind of see that with the spider's web imagery as well. Just every spider's web only has one spider. So it's really all about that solitude, having that solitude, taking that time to yourself to really reflect on what's gone on here with this no contact situation and how you can actually give back to this situation. Because next we are seeing the bouquet, and the bouquet is that giving and taking energy. It is that reciprocal energy coming through. So it really does talk about receiving gifts and pleasure and rewards, but also the fact that, in order to receive, we do also need to be giving as well. It is a very giving kind of energy. But we do see the equality comes through with that bouquet as well. So, I really feel as though there, with this particular situation, there was a lack of give and take. One of you was giving more than the other. So it may have been a bit of a one-sided type connection there, and it's kind of left you both, I feel, in this bear energy. The bear is all talking about. That protective of yourself, trying to find, your own strength, your own power. Once again, it's very, very representative of this Tower card, where you do sort of need to take some time to yourself to really work out where your true power lays, where your true strengths are, and then, giving to those within this connection, if you do want to, restart this connection, restart the communication between you. The bear is a very sort of protective and energy as well. So, can be to the point of being a little bit defensive. So there may have been an issue to do with overprotectiveness, defensiveness coming from one of you, over the lack of give and take between the two of you. So we're really seeing an interesting thing being reflected there. But I really do find that it really is talking about that give and take. I really feel as though we're looking at a one-sided sort of connection here, where, even if it wasn't one-sided, one or both of you are feeling as though, you were giving more than you were receiving, when it comes to this connection, and even when it comes to the contact between you in this connection, because, we are doing a no contact sort of reading. So, one or both of you are feeling as though the other may have not have been providing enough contact with, especially that physical contact and that quality time contact, that just that contact between you both, and you just weren't seeing eye to eye on how to approach this situation. Now, your advice, Gemini, I do have the house coming through here. As you can see, this house is like, once again, I don't know what sort of, it's like a beehive, or like a wasp nest up in the tree there. So it does have that imagery of, going back to your roots, going back to home at the end of the day. And so maybe one of you wasn't going back home at the end of the day, and that sort of led to this. But we do also see the letter, all right? So the letter really is talking and communication, all kinds of communication there, talking, texting, emailing, phone calls, talking in person, all those sorts of things. So as advice, this literally could actually be quite literal for some of you, Gemini, saying, go talk to them, go to their house and talk to them. All right. Because, with the house there, the house is talking about security and stability, and, that sense of family. But obviously those issues need to be talked about with this person, because, when that communication is coming out, there's obviously some communication that does need to happen. Even though you are currently in no contact, we are seeing contact as your advice. All right. So I do feel as though this is going to be you reaching out to them, Gemini. And like I said, for some of you, you may even go to their house and to talk to them, kind of a vibe. But if not, it's just talking about, talking to this person about, look, this is how I need to feel stable. This is how I need to feel secure within this connection. And this is what I need from you, and this is what I will be able to give to you in return. And really talking about that give and take energy, because obviously when there's no give and take, on both sides, it really does, lead to insecurity and instability. So we are seeing that is obviously the issue that does need to be communicated between you both. So I am feeling that that's you, Gemini, needing to kind of reach out to this person. So obviously if it's not safe for you to do so, do not do that. But that's what needs to be addressed between you and this person is the stability and the security within the connection, and and letting them know too, because the house does talk about, that sense of family and that sense of you're my home. All right. So let them know, like, if that's how you feel, let them know you are my family, you are my home. I want to come home. I want you to come home, whatever it may be. And really talking it through with them, Gemini. So that's what I have for you guys. Make sure you leave me a comment and let me know if that resonated for you. But otherwise, we'll be moving over to Cancer. How are we, Cancer? Just looking at the person that you are not currently in contact with. So the person that Cancer is in no contact with. Cancer, and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Excuse me. We firstly do have the soulmate card, Cancer. So that does say you have found your romantic counterpart. So feeling as though this situation, even though it may be currently no contact, this person may be your soulmate. All right. We also have the bonding coming out there. So as you get to know each other, you discover many things in common. So maybe having to get back to that point where you are having to sort of get to know each other all over again. I feel, with that, if you do want to end this no contact situation, you may need to get to know this person all over again, in order to, find those things that you have in common all over again, and really bond with this person all over again. I feel reestablish that bond between you. Okay, so Cancer and the person that they are not currently in contact with. Okay, and advice for Cancer. Okay, so Cancer, I do have the moon coming out first and foremost with this situation. So obviously a lot of emotions on the table with this. The moon really does talk about emotional sensitivities. It does talk about following your intuition when it comes to this situation quite strongly. Okay, it is a card of intuition and emotions as well. So really actually addressing your emotions. What are you currently feeling about this situation? Do you want to rekindle this situation? Do you feel as though this person is your soulmate? Really getting to the bottom of your emotions when it comes to this connection. The person that you're dealing with in no contact, they may actually be quite emotional about this as well. So I am feeling that that's linked quite with that soulmate card. So I do feel as though you both kind of intuitively know that you guys are soulmates, and I don't know why you wouldn't be in communication with your soulmate. All right. So whatever's gone on, it's coming through as quite an emotional thing for both of you. We also do have the tree. Once again, I'm feeling both of your energy coming through with this tree as well. So I feel like you both have grown quite a lot. The tree really is about personal growth, self-growth, all those sorts of things. And also having new wisdom and knowledge now. So I do feel as though you do have more of a knowledge now of your intuition leading you to this person. You have more wisdom when it comes to your emotions about this connection. But I am feeling that that's going both ways as well. As you can kind of see, there is two main branches in this tree here, and they're part of the same tree, but then they're growing so closely together. But for some reason, they've branched off onto their own little things there. So that's whatever's happened here, that stopped them growing together. You obviously know what that is. That sort of split you apart there, but I am feeling that this is both of you coming, both of your energy coming through there, and you both want the lily. All right, so we do have the lily coming through, and that once again does talk about emotions. This is actually that emotional intimacy between you. So you're both kind of wanting that. I feel as though you both really are wanting to, you know, get back to the emotional intimacy between you, and it really does talk about longevity. So you both kind of felt that this was the one, and you were going to be with this person for a long time. So once again, I'm not quite sure why there is no contact between you. Obviously something must have happened for that no contact. But once again, we're seeing the double imagery too, the two lilies. All right, so you're both wanting this. You are both emotional and emotionally invested in this connection. The lily is, a really romantic kind of card too. So I do feel as though you both are well aware that, each other are your soulmate. So I really feel as though there's an element here of both of you really needing to, get that bond back. All right. So obviously, if whatever's gone on between you is quite severe or something like that, obviously we wouldn't recommend that. But there is this very strong element of, this is kind of meant to be. All right. So it's quite interesting. Now, when I've asked for your advice, here, I will just show you on the bottom of the deck, I do have the letter. All right, so the letter does talk about communication. So I do feel as though having that on the bottom of the deck when I've asked for your advice, that some sort of communication between you and this person is inevitable and necessary as well. But your general advice here, we do have the mountain. All right, so that is really telling us, climb that mountain, climb whatever those challenges are, whatever those obstacles are, climb straight on over them. Once you can get to the top of that mountain, you can see exactly where to go from there, and you know exactly what path to take back down that mountain. So the mountain does talk about, challenges and delays within the connection. There may be some obstacles that you need to, surmount to get back to this person. But your advice is to start climbing, put in that perseverance, that hard work, to start climbing those obstacles and getting those out of the way. We also have the bear energy coming through there. So the bear actually does talk quite a lot about, protectiveness. That protectiveness that, you may be feeling quite overprotective of yourself. Your person may be feeling overprotective of themselves. It can talk a little bit about defensiveness as well, in the extreme. But really it's talking about standing in your own power, that you have the strength. You have the inner strength, especially with the tree there. You guys have both kind of grown, and trees grow really strong. They can weather a storm, and they'll bend and not break. So there is a lot of inner strength coming from both of you there. And I feel as though, it's a direct message telling us you have the strength to climb this mountain. You can do it. Okay, Cancer. So whatever those obstacles are, you do have the strength and the power to overcome those obstacles. All right. And then we also have the albatross coming through. So that is actually the cross card in the traditional decks. But the albatross really does talk about, maybe needing to sacrifice something in order to keep faith in this situation. So that may be one of the obstacles that you're having to overcome. There is some sort of sacrifice that you are having to make, in order to renew this connection. So, if that sacrifice, I do feel with a no contact situation, and the letter on the bottom of the deck, the sacrifice that we're probably looking at is probably something along the lines of, sacrificing your pride, in order to reach out to this person, in order to communicate with this person, because, and having faith, because the cross really does talk about having faith, having that spiritual religious connection to, the universe or whatever it is you believe in. It's having that trust in God, that everything is going to work out exactly how it is supposed to. And, if you guys are soulmates and you both do want this long term, you're both emotionally invested in this, have faith that, follow your heart and everything will work out eventually. All right. So it's really, I feel, letting us know that there may be some sort of a sacrifice involved though in, having the faith that this will work out. So I feel for a lot of you Cancers that is sort of talking about, that sacrifice being, being the one to apologize, or being the one to reach out. Those sorts of a vibe I'm getting from that there. But at the end of the day, have faith, because everything is, there's a strong sense of destiny with that albatross cross card, and it does sort of have a layer of good fortune there, and it really does let us know that, you will be able to overcome whatever those obstacles are. You have the strength, you have the power, Cancer. So, and also with that bear card, you may literally have the power. So this person may sort of be relying on you to reach out and apologize, or whatever it may be in your particular situation. And you are the one, the ball's in your court, so to speak. So that's what we have for you, Cancer. Make sure you do leave a comment and let me know whether that resonated for you or not. But moving over to Leo, how are we today, Leo? Just looking at the person that you are not currently in contact with. Leo, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, Leo, we do have love language gift giving. Oh, Leo, if you are a Leo and you've been watching my reads recently, this has been a really common theme for you guys, to not just receive gifts, but, give yourself gifts and those sorts of things. But it does say tokens of that word, that reciprocal gifts, hold cherished memories, tokens of give and take. I'm not even going to attempt that word again. But holding cherished memories for you or this other person. So, gift giving, things that you may have given this person, things that they may have given you, holding a lot of memory for you at the moment there, Leo. We also do have the unexpected connection card coming through, saying opposites attract. So I do feel, Leo, that this is feeling like a new energy. This is not feeling like this person that we're not in contact with. Interesting. So we do have, you may be holding on to some cherished memories with this person that you're not in contact with. But I do feel, Leo, that that's a brand new energy coming through there with that unexpected connection. So you may have someone else on the cards already, Leo. Let's have a look. Leo and the person that they are not currently in contact with. And advice for Leo, please. Okay. So I do still feel, Leo, that there may be new options available for you. So, even though you are reminiscing about this person and, currently not in contact with this person, you may actually be headed towards somebody new altogether. Obviously, it's going to be up to you whether that's what you're wanting. You're obviously watching the no contact reading. But so, that does lead me to believe that you probably do want contact with this person. But we do have the stars coming out firstly for this connection. So, the stars is all about wishes and wish fulfillment. So this person may have felt like a wish come true. They may, you may have felt as though you did get, all your hope and optimism was achieved with this person. I'm feeling that you probably did have a very strong connection with this person. They were kind of, yeah, your wish come true. The person that you sort of wish on a star for, that kind of a thing. But we also have the rider coming in there, and the rider, the way that they're actually presenting, the rider is actually, taking those wishes and riding off away from those wishes. All right, so I do feel that for some of you Leos, this may have been what you had wished for, but we may actually be moving away from that wish and sort of evolving some new wishes when it comes to love. You may have actually been started to move away from this person that you're not in contact with, because that is pretty quick. So as well, and he normally does bring good news. So like for some of you, the good news is that you are able to leave those wishes behind. The wishes that you had for that connection, you aren't able to leave those behind, and move forward without that person, is what I'm feeling for a lot of you. So I am getting that as a majority coming through, to be completely honest with you, Leo. So I'm sorry if you are one of the few that do really want to, you know, reinvest in that no contact person. But I am getting that, for majority of you, you're sort of getting on that horse and riding off into the sunset and leaving those wishes behind. Whatever you wish for with that connection, you're now actually leaving those behind and moving forward into, totally new hope and wishes with maybe somebody else. Like, we do have that unexpected connection card that is sort of a new energy there. And we also have the mice. Okay, so the mice does talk about, loss and things being taken from you. So you may still be feeling the loss of that connection of that person that you're not in contact with. But I don't feel like you're letting that stop you, Leo. The mouse also does talk about, things eating away at you and nibbling away at you a little bit. So I do feel that, even if you are moving away from that situation, part of you is kind of worried that, um, that it's going to eat away at you, that you've made the wrong decision or by moving away from that. I don't feel as though that's the case. If that is you that is worried about that, Leo. But, with that mice there, we are seeing a bit of a, it is kind of a clear loss kind of a card. So I do kind of feel for majority of you, once again, that this person that you're not in contact with, that is kind of over and done with, to be completely honest, and that you are going to move away from that and create new wishes elsewhere. All right, but your direct advice, we do have the clover. Okay, so the clover really does talk about good fortune. It's short-term good luck card. Okay, so you are going to have good luck if with that's feeling like that. Opposites attract with this unexpected connection. It is feeling like the same energy as that new energy. All right, so the clover also does talk about, taking a bit of a risk, taking a chance. So it definitely could be talking about taking a chance on an unexpected connection, on a new connection. All right. We also have the house. All right, and so I would say that if you are taking a chance, make sure you are taking a chance to, the things that are going to make you feel more secure. All right, the house talks about your security and your stability. All right, your sense of home, what makes you feel like home, and really, really taking that chance on stability. So, if this past no contact situation, wasn't giving you the stability and security in life and love that you desired, then, heading toward that and taking a chance to find that elsewhere. I really feel. And then we do have the albatross, which that is the cross in some in the traditional decks. So that really does talk about having faith that no matter where you go from here, having faith that everything is working out exactly how it should be. All right, but with that unexpected connection on the board, there is some unexpected changes happening, I feel, for you, Leo. So definitely have this possibility for brand new energy coming through, which is quite interesting. Like, I do feel as though, this person in the past, you are just sort of moving on from that, and it's just a lovely memory now, rather than an active sort of connection as such. It's just a memory that you have that you'll hold on to for a very long time. Like, obviously everything happens for a reason, and we have these people in our life for a reason, but I do feel as though that person that you're not in contact with is more along the lines of a memory, and we are moving into new energy altogether for you, Leo. But that's what I have for you guys. Let me know if that resonated for you. Moving over to Virgo. How are we, Virgo? Just looking at the person that you're not currently in contact with. Virgo, and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Twin flame union. Okay, so we do have heart, body, mind, and soul. So, a strong part of you may have felt that this person was your twin flame. All right, and it may have been a very, very strong connection at the time of when you were in contact with this person. We also have third party coming through. Okay, and that says you may be dealing with a karmic situation. All right, so I'm feeling that, for a lot of you Virgos, this person that you are dealing with, even if they are your twin flame, they may be dealing with a karmic as well as you. Or this could be you, and maybe you are the karmic to this person, and they are actually um, they also have a twin flame connection elsewhere. But I do feel that that twin flame connection is yours rather than theirs. But we are getting the third party card coming out. So, all right, Virgo, and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Okay, and advice for Virgo. Okay, Virgo, I've got a pretty straightforward message here. It may not be what you want to hear, but it is pretty straightforward from what I'm seeing here. I do firstly have the ship, okay? So the ship talks about travel, brand new adventures, setting sail, well, I'm going to say, setting sail into the sunset, because I do have the chrysalis and then the sun have come through as well. So you're kind of setting sail here, going through this phase, heading straight towards the sun. All right. And the sun is happiness and things being revealed to you that need to be sort of come to light. So we are seeing you sort of on this brand new journey. I feel, Virgo, that you are setting sail on a new adventure. The ship really does talk about new adventures. It's not, or big adventures, part of your life. Like, but with this energy, the energy is feeling new. All right. And we do have the chrysalis as well. So, the chrysalis is what a caterpillar climbs on into and emerges as a butterfly or a moth. So you're kind of in this gestation period where things, you're in the middle of everything at the moment. You're still sort of cocooning yourself away a little bit, working through some things, working out exactly where you want that ship to take you. You know, you may have already started that new adventure or about to start that new adventure, but there is still a little bit of, you know, process to go through within yourself, I feel. I feel as though this no contact connection, you're kind of both setting sail on new adventures. You know, the ship does talk about distance as well. So I do feel that, you know, you've kind of, you know, you both sort of set sail, and one ship's going that way and the other's going that way, and you maybe crossed in the night, and that, you know, and that's about it. You're both on this sort of journey at the moment where you're tucking yourselves away, cocooning yourselves up, and really working through the things that you need to work through in order to become this beautiful butterfly or moth at the end of it all. All right. And then we do have the sun, like I said, and so that's all about happiness. So wherever you're headed, after you come out of that chrysalis, you know, the sun is going to be shining brightly for you, and you're going to have a lot of happiness on this journey. It's all working out for you at the end. Okay. So whatever you're sort of getting through at the moment, you know, the sun will come out again. It may not seem like it at the moment, while you're in this, you know, in this chrysalis. You probably can't see the sun for the cocoon, all right, but the sun will come out again, and you will see that you will have that warmth and brightness in your life again. All right. So, and I feel as though, yeah, that I do feel as though that's sort of talking about, you know, moving away from each other a little bit there, especially, you know, with the chrysalis. You know, only one person goes into this cocoon, only one person comes out. You know, you don't no caterpillars cocoon up together, so it's an individual journey. All right, so this journey that you're on, it's a very individual journey for you, Virgo, but there is a lot of happiness. That's the happiest card in the deck, the sun there. And now your direct advice, okay, we have the snake first and foremost. So follow your passion, follow your true desires. You know, that can have a bit of a sexual uh, in connotation as well, with the passion and desire and those sorts of things, that physical intimacy stuff. So, you know, maybe getting out there, and, you know, if that's your thing, Virgo. If not, obviously not. You know, but, you know, it's out there, out there, maybe playing the field a little bit, being a bit slippery and getting around things a different way to normal, but really talking about following your passions and your true desires. All right, following that ambition, and really setting sail on this journey, that you know, rather than you know, settling for anything, settling for any third party situations, really sort of slithering into this journey, you know, with the goal of meeting all your greatest desires, of meeting, of, you know, heading into great ambition. You know, you've got that sun at the other end, so why not? All right. And then we are seeing the birds as well, so there may be some important conversations coming up. So I do feel, with the birds on the table, that, you know, we could be talking about like a sex hookup between you and this person that you're not in contact with, but that would be all it would be. I feel with that snake card there, it will actually, you know, start some conversation for you, start some communication, even just within yourself. I feel it's talking to yourself honestly. All right. And you know, being conversation there may be conversations between you and this person that you're not in contact with. But I do feel as though that's just part of your journey. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's part of actually helping you, um, you know, go through this gestation process, and actually see that sun, see that you have made the right choices, and you have started your journey all by yourself. All right. But yeah, for some of you, I feel like there is, that you may have a sex hookup with that person that you're not in contact with. And that's going to make you realize that they're not somebody that you actually want to be with. That, you know, sex hookup's great and all, but it's not long term, it's not emotional intimacy on the table there with that. All right. But we also have the moth. All right. So you can kind of see that chrysalis that we saw ourselves in over there, we are now looking at the moth as your advice. So it's coming out of your shell and flying off into that sun. All right, head to the light, head to the light, just head straight to the light, Virgo. You know, the moth to the flame kind of a thing. I do feel as though that, you know, at the end of all this, you really will find yourself a whole new butterfly. And you really will be spreading your wings and flying into the sun with that there as well. You, no matter what has happened here, it's all a part of your transformation, part of your metamorphosis. I feel, Virgo, that, you know, this was all meant to happen just to help you grow and metamorphosize, and spread your wings and follow those true desires, I feel, Virgo. So I you know, I don't necessarily see any energy coming through of you and this person reconciling. Like I said, there may be a physical thing go on between you and them. But, you know, obviously, you know, we do have the twin flame and that reference to the karmic third party as well. So you may have thought this person was a twin flame, but it turns out they were just a karmic. All right. And so if that's the case, that sort of shows us that there is the potential to find a twin flame still. All right. But, you know, it depends on what you believe with all that sort of stuff too, because everyone's got a different kind of idea with all that sort of stuff. And me personally, I do believe that there is all types of soulmates and multiple soulmates available to everyone. And if someone turns out to not be the sort of soulmate that you need them to be, that the universe will provide a new option for that to be fulfilled for you. But like I said, you know, very individual kind of thing. So working out what you believe, I suppose, is important for you. All right, but moving over to Libra. How are we, Libra? I'm just looking today at the person that you are not currently in contact with. Libra, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, we do have the Burning Desire card coming out there, Libra. Flames of passion ignite. All right, so very interesting. This may have been a very physical based connection. It may have been, you know, you may have had a lot of desire for this person. Then we do have love language, quality time. Be the witness to each other's lives. All right, so I do feel as though, you know, for a lot of you, this connection may have sort of burned out as well, I want to say, with that burning desire. Because, you know, desire is only one part of a connection. There's a lot more than just desire that goes into, you know, a longer term connection, a love connection. You know, physical desire will only get you so far. But then we do have, like I said, the quality time card. So quality time between you and this person may have been important to you. But also when that one does say, be the witness to each other's lives, that actually kind of gives me the stalker vibe as well. So, you know, if you are looking this person up on social media, if that's not you, that may be them, you know, witnessing your life and witnessing, you know, peeking out to see what are they up to, that kind of thing. They may still have a strong desire for you, but, you know, like I said, desire is not necessarily emotion. Or other, it doesn't necessarily translate to everything that you need from this connection. Okay, Libra, and the person that they are not in contact with. Libra, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Pardon. And advice for Libra, please. Advice for Libra. Okay, so Libra, I am getting relatively straightforward message here with all this. So the person that you're not currently in contact with, we do firstly have the scythe, which that does talk about unexpected breaks or changes. All right. So obviously that is the no contact, whatever's happened to make this no contact, it probably was, quite sudden or unexpected. And it really, but also I am sort of feeling that this energy is quite separate to this person as well. So even though I'm asking about the person that you're not in contact with, I'm actually getting this is actually the energy of you having a sudden, unexpected break from that no contact situation and not sort of holding on to that too much in the future, because we do next have the book. All right, and so that does talk about starting brand new chapters and writing your story how you want it to be written. So I do feel as though you are having a sudden change to the storyline happening for you, and I feel as though that person that you're not in contact with, I'm kind of feeling like you are turning the page on them and getting ready to write something brand new. All right. We do also have the dog coming through. So the dog really does talk about friendships and your support systems, your the people that are loyal to you and supportive of you. So I do feel as though when you are writing these new chapters, not only is that it letting you know to rely on your friends, rely on your support group, the people that are loyal to you, but also that for some of you, the new chapter that we're starting may actually be with a friend. All right. Some of you Libras may actually have a friend coming forward and saying, look, I want to start something with you. I want to write a story with you myself. And it may be unexpected as well. So I do feel though, for some of you Libras, there definitely is a friend that may be looking for something more than just friendship with you. All right. Because like I said, I am feeling it separate. I am feeling, even though I've asked for the no contact person, I am feeling that that is a separate energy. But then here, when I've asked for your advice, I am getting that no contact energy. We do have the coffin and the fox. All right. So as you can see, very similar images here. We have the cicada shell on the coffin, and then we have the fox moon. So both sitting on the moon there. So this coming full moon may end up being important to you guys. They're both sort of sitting on the moon. But this coffin really does talk about leaving your shell behind, leaving the shell of this no contact situation behind. The coffin really does talk about, the death of a situation, bringing a brand new beginning. It's telling us, to close the lid on that, end that completely. So it really does sort of let us know that your advice is to, move on, basically. Like, sorry to put it so harshly, but your advice is to, close the lid on that no contact situation and accept that that is the ending. That no contact situation is the ending, and this is kind of why you need to close the lid on that. This is the fox, so it's a very sneaky, sort of tricky, clever kind of energy. But it's kind of that it's a person that normally they'll say whatever they think they have to say, um you know but it's not necessarily the whole truth. It's like a car salesman. They'll tell you whatever they need to tell you to make the sale, but then a week later you're going down the highway and it goes clunk clunk clunk. Oh, it was a lemon, and they never revealed all these problems with the car. Okay, so I feel as though that's why you kind of need to end this, because that person is very tricky, and um and also with the fox energy, they're very independent and they only think about themselves when it comes through like that. So, they're not thinking of you, they're thinking of them. Everything they're doing for their own benefit. They're not doing it for the both benefit kind of thing. All right. So I am kind of getting that energy there that's why you're needing to, end this completely. And it may involve, accepting that this person may have had a lot of desire for you, but maybe that was all that was. that connection may have just been based on desire, not anything further than that. Which is, unfortunate, especially if we are getting ourselves into connections that, we're hoping for something more than that. And then, that person wasn't completely truthful and they've only told us what we want to hear, kind of a vibe. But that's sort of why your advice is to kind of close the lid on that. And, the death of one situation does bring the rebirth of the next. All right. And we are seeing that energy transformed into the key for you. So your advice is to open new doors, open up brand new options for yourself. We do have the key there that does talk about success. All right, so you're headed towards success. Okay, definitely success on the board, as long as you open new doors. All right, so it really does talk about unlocking other options and unlocking new doors for yourself. So you don't want to unlock a door that you've already closed, like with that coffin. We want to unlock new doors and new opportunities for ourselves. So that's what I have for you today, Libra. Let me know in the comments if that resonated for you. Obviously, everyone that does comment on one of my videos will go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated. But for now, we'll move on to Scorpio. How are we all doing, Scorpio? Just looking today at the person that you're not in contact with. Scorpio and the person that they are not currently in contact with. Wow, we had one wanting to show itself straight away. Scorpio and the person that they are not in contact with. Okay, so Scorpio, that one that jumped out was the self-care, self-love, I should say. So it does say, love yourself first, okay? And that jumped out today, Scorpio, as well. So that's obviously very important for you at the moment, Scorpio, to really spend some time looking after yourself first and foremost, okay? We do also have the twin flame recognition card. So this soul that mirrors your own. All right. So this person that you're not in contact with may be a twin flame. Sorry. Or you may have, felt as though they do mirror you and your soul and your heart. And that's why it is so important for you to have this self-love at the moment, because when someone mirrors us, when we do have that twin flame recognition, it can actually trigger us in a way as well, because not only do they reflect all our good things, but they reflect the things that our innermost demons, I suppose, as well. So that could be part of why this is currently no contact. But we'll see what the Lenormand wants to tell us, Scorpio. Scorpio and the person that they are not in contact with. Okay, Scorpio, I'm just getting confirmation really that this person is very important to you in your path in this life. Firstly, we do have the dog coming out. Okay, so the dog is a friendship card. So obviously, there probably was a strong friendship between the two of you, as well as, other and more than that. But it does talk about loyalty and support and all those sorts of lovely things that friendship offer as well. So I want to tell you, when you are looking after yourself, make sure you are relying on your support network, the people that, your friends, rely on them at this time to help you find that self-love for yourself as well. All right. But, I am seeing that, the bond between a man and his dog, the bond between, that twin flame recognition, it's quite a strong bond between you and this person. It can't be sort of denied. I am sort of seeing it strongly. I also have the bouquet coming through. So the bouquet really does talk about giving and receiving. Okay. And it is a card of equal give and take. Okay, so that may be partly why there is no communication at the moment, no contact between you at the moment. Maybe one or the other of you did feel as though someone was giving more than the other to this connection, and that may have led to this no contact situation. But we really do see that, you know, it's gifts, you know, whether energetic gifts or physical gifts. Okay, so there may have been a lot of things between you that you've given this person that you've never given anybody else. Like I said, that bond is really strong between you guys, and we do also have the ring as well. Okay, so the ring really does talk about a strong connection. Like, it's a super strong connection. I can't see a specific reason for the no contact other than the fact that you do need to love yourself first. Okay, so like I said, with that twin flame recognition, there may have been some things that, you know, have triggered each other as well within this connection, and really just needing to work on some self growth separately. And that's why we're in no contact at the moment. But we'll have a look at some advice for you there as well, Scorpio. Advice for Scorpio with this situation, please. Okay, so I just want to clarify that third card. Why is that third card advice for Scorpio? Okay, all right. All right, so firstly, we do have the moon as well as the bear. Okay, so the moon really does talk about emotions and following your intuition. All right, so I'm sort of getting the vibe that there is some emotional stuff that, you know, you and this other person do need to deal with, you know, separately. You know, really, really sitting down and assessing your emotions when it comes to this situation, assessing how you feel about what's happened between you that's led to the no contact, but also how you feel about this person, full stop. All right, so really needing to actually stop and assess your emotions at this time, especially with that self-love in mind as well. You know, accepting your emotions is the first step of, well, sorry, being aware of your emotions is the first step to accepting them and accepting yourself and loving those emotions, even the bad ones. All right, so that's part of who you are. So it's really talking, though, I feel, about, you know, sitting down and assessing your emotions, and, you know, working out exactly how you do feel and what you want to feel in the future with this connection as well. We do also have the bear, so that really does talk about, you know, being protective of yourself, you know, and also you know, there is a lot of strength and power with the bear. So it does remind us to stand in our own power. A lot of the time when we do have these twin flame situations, we kind of lose ourselves a little bit as well. So it's really, really talking about, you know, being strong through this situation, being strong, you know, when it comes to assessing your emotions and the things that you do need to love within yourself, in order to move forward in the future. So being super strong, but also really standing in your own power. There may be some boundaries that you need to set for yourself as well. And then thirdly, I did get the whip, okay, and I did ask for clarification, and I got the heart. All right, so what we are seeing, you know, like I said, I did ask for clarification, and we're talking about your heart space. All right, so we are seeing some trouble within your heart space, trouble, you know, trouble or tension, you know, fighting, that kind of stuff. And I really want to say, you know, with this particular whip card, as you can see, it's a whip made out of lightning. All right, so it does bring that imagery of, you know, the storm kind of thing. So it's kind of talking about, you know, weathering that storm and the storm within you, and really needing to deal with that and face that stuff. Where once again we're talking about those emotions, okay, and really being able to you know, work through that troubled heart of yours, Scorpio, working through that energy, and allowing that tension to dissipate. All right, because after the lightning, that, you know, the storm will end. All right. And we do see that with the heart, that's giving yourself, once again, a lot of love back to yourself, back to the, whatever you feel troubled about, whatever whatever you guys have fought about, those sorts of things. Loving yourself through that whole process when you're dealing with that all, and really assessing your emotional self when it comes to that, and really, really loving yourself. Okay, really working on that self love. I feel for you at the moment, Scorpio, and help get you through that trouble. That we may be looking at literally a troubled heart and having to deal with a troubled heart. All right, so by that I mean, there may be things about love that you just don't understand, and it's okay. Like, it's totally okay, because, especially with twin flame recognition coming out as well, when we have those sorts of things coming into our lives, a lot of the time it really brings to light, all these little components, love that you never felt before. Yes, but also, I don't know how to deal with something that I've never had before. Okay, so it does bring around a little bit of trouble with it as well, on how to even deal with something that you've never dealt with before. If you feel this strongly about this person, and really, really needing to actually, spend some time with yourself and working out how you want to love, how you need to be shown love, and you know, first and foremost, starting that within yourself, so that then you can enact that with another as well. But that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Let me know in the comments how that resonates for you. Everyone that comments on one of my videos will go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so that you can keep updated when that comes around. But we'll move over to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, how are we today? Just looking at the person that you are not currently in contact with. Sagittarius and the person that you are not in contact with, please. Okay, so firstly, we do have the magnetism card coming out. So there's a gravitational pull to each other. So I do feel as though this is a big part of how you and this person first met. There was just like this crazy magnetism, like you were two magnets that were just drawn to each other and could not, you thought you would never be able to be pulled apart. But we are actually seeing the next card is the time apart card. All right, so a time of separation. So that's reinforcing that no contact, that even though there was this incredible magnetism between you, that we are currently in time apart. But with that time apart card, it does also give the inclination that it's just temporary as well. So especially with that sort of magnetism, you may be drawn back to each other all over again. But we'll see what the Lenormand wants to add for you, Sagittarius. Sagittarius and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. And advice for Sagittarius with this situation, please. Okay, so we are seeing on the bottom of the deck the Tower. Okay, so the Tower is reaffirming that time apart message, that you do need to take time to yourself to work through some stuff, Sagittarius. All right, but when it comes to that connection there, firstly, we do have the Coffin. Okay, so the Coffin really is like the card of, the death and rebirth. Okay, so it's things needing to end in order to, turn into brand new beginnings. All right. So as to whether we are going to be, once again, like I said, that time apart does look like it, could be a temporary time apart. The Coffin really does talk about needing to end things, or needing to close the lid on something in order to, you know, bring around that new beginning, that rebirth. All right. So as you can kind of see here, we've got a cicada up here. So it's left its shell behind. And, you know, so the shell is like its little coffin that it's left behind here. So you do really need to leave something behind with this connection. So whether that is that connection as a whole, or whether that is, you know, I am feeling that I am seeing future contact with this person, but at as it stands, there is definitely, you know, part of that whole situation that needs to be closed, you know, needs to end. All right. So there's definitely an ending that needs to happen there. And we are seeing the book as well. So the book really does talk about, you know, like the story of your life, a lot of the time, what chapters we're up to. So we're having to sort of close that, end that chapter, and start a brand new chapter. So whether that new chapter is with this same person, or with somebody new, that's going to be up to you, I feel, there, Sagittarius. But, you know, definitely needing to close that chapter, close whatever's happened in the past, needing to really close that out, and, you know, end all that cycle of whatever's happened in the past there, so that we can bring that new energy in. And then we do have the heart. Okay, so the heart really is a love and romance, all that sort of stuff. So we are seeing, you know, that next chapter will be in love and romance. That next chapter will have a lot of love. It will be something very close to your heart. So as to, like I said, as to whether that is this same person or not, I really feel like that's going to be up to you. All right, because when it comes to your advice, first and foremost, we do have the letter. All right, so the letter is all about communication. So I do feel as though in this instance, this is talking about closure, communication to get that closure. All right, so you know, text, emailing, in person, all that sort of stuff, phone calls, whatever sort of communication suits you. It is communication. All right. So I do feel as though there is going to be some sort of communication between you and this person that you're not currently in contact with. But it is kind of feeling a lot more like closure than necessarily communication to reinstigate this connection. But like I said, it's up to you. We do have the crossroad here, and that means choices and decisions. All right. So it's up to you. It's really up to you which path you are going to take when it comes to this connection. If you do want to communicate in order to, you know, rebirth this connection, or whether you do want to communicate just for that closure aspect, you know, it's up to you which path you take. And I feel as though you have multiple options. This particular crossroads, it's got lots of different, you know, roads that you can follow from here. So, you know, one of those will go back to that person, but these other ones will take you elsewhere. All right. So it's really going to be up to you, whether you want to go back to this same connection or a new connection. But I do feel as though this next card is related to what would happen, you know, your advice on this particular connection. All right, so we are seeing the crossroads. So really, the decision is up to you. It's up to you what path you take from here, and what you truly want, you know, from this connection. But we are seeing the whip as an advice card thirdly there. So the whip really does talk about trouble and tension, you know, fighting, that kind of stuff. So you know, I feel as though that part of the decision making process is that if you do reach out and communicate with this person, if you do try to follow that path back to that person, and you know, restart that connection with them, is it going to just lead to fighting and more tension for you? All right, that needs to come into your thought process when you do, you know, think about which decision you're going to make, which path you're going to take. You know, I feel like it's letting us know your advice is to try to avoid trouble, and try to avoid, you know, take the path of no tension, no fighting, as a possibility, because we want this chapter of love. We don't want this chapter with, you know, lightning strikes left, right, and center. All right, so that whip is lightning. All right, so I do feel as though, you know, that on the path, whatever choice you make, there may be a little bit of a storm to get through in order to get that closure. There may be a little bit of fighting and quarreling kind of energy in order to get that closure. But that will help you decide which path to take as well, because, you know, every storm does end as well. You can get through and it really clears and you know, the rain will clear away everything, and you'll know sort of exactly which path to take after seeing, you know, any tension arising. So just a bit of a warning there. I do feel as though, you know, just be aware that, you know, when you do reach out to this person, if you do reach out to this person and for closure or whatever, you know, if you do reach out to this person, there may be still a bit of tension and quarreling going on in the future between you. But you, really, like I said, that decision is yours. It's really up to you what path you want to take. And if you choose to take that path of brand new chapters for yourself, no matter what, we're looking at brand new chapters with a lot of love. All right. So we do have that love there for the taking. It's just a matter of finding the right path for yourself, Sagittarius. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. Let me know in the comments how that resonated for you. Keeping in mind, everyone that does comment on one of my videos will go in the draw for a free personal reading. So make sure you do, you know, like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated as well. But moving on to our Capricorns. How are we today, Capricorn? Doing our all signs reading today, looking at the person that you are not currently in contact with. Capricorn, and the person that you are not currently in contact with. Okay, so firstly we have love language gift giving. So you can see here this gentleman giving her a little puppy. Isn't that cute? My son actually just got a little puppy, so it's so cute. Tokens of I can't say this word. I don't know why they keep putting it on all the cards. It's reciprocal energy. All right, so tokens of reciprocal energy hold cherished memories. All right, it does have the other word there, but I cannot pronounce it. I cannot for the life of me say it properly. But tokens of, you know, giving and receiving, holding cherished memories. All right. So I do feel for you, Capricorn, that either you or this person really is, you know, sort of looking at memories at the moment of between you guys. So if you gave them things or if they gave you things, one or both of you are sort of really cherishing those items and, you know, looking at them quite a lot. All right. We also do have the disguise card. This is the first time this card has come out, but it does say some elements of this relationship are hidden. All right. So there is things that you may not be aware of when it comes to this connection, and that may be partly what's going on with this no contact situation. All right. So yeah, definitely not the best card that we want to see if we are wanting to, you know, revive that connection. There's some things that need to come to light. Okay, Capricorn, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. And advice for our Capricorns. Advice for Capricorns with this situation, please. Okay, interesting, Capricorn. Firstly, when it comes to this connection, we do have the chrysalis coming through. Okay, so you know when we see the chrysalis, that is the mid phase, the gestation, the you know, the caterpillar's gone into this cocoon and is going to come out the other side totally transformed. So I do feel as though there is an element here of this connection is actually currently, you know, it's just in this time where you're needing some time apart, some time alone, because, you know, the caterpillar goes into their cocoon all by themselves. So I feel as though this is both of you kind of sitting in this chrysalis, just waiting for the right opportunity to, you know, emerge and emerge transformed too, okay? Because you do find that with the chrysalis, it's a totally different energy on the other side. You know, you go in as one thing and you come out as something totally different. So there's a lot of transformation going on at the moment behind the scenes with this connection, I feel, with that chrysalis on the table there. So you know, you and I feel as though you're both going through this at the moment. You're both kind of cocooned off in your own little worlds, going through this transformation and ready. Like, I feel like it's about to pop. Or I do feel like it's about to pop open, and you guys are going to emerge totally different, totally metamorphosized from what you may have been in the past when you first met this person. So whatever's going on with this no contact, it was obviously necessary for you both to go through this growth period. Okay, so we're looking at maybe two little caterpillars that are, you know, needed to go off on their own into their cocoons so that they can meet again as moths or butterflies. And, you know, very interesting. We also have the ship coming through. Okay, so getting very close to starting a new journey, whether this is a new journey within the connection or a brand new adventure within the connection, or, you know, a brand new adventure together. But we do also see travel and distance with this card as well. So there may be some physical distance between you guys at the moment, but also you may need to sort of travel to this person, or that sort of physical travel as well. But like I feel like it's more to do with just that journey within yourself. You know, you've been in this chrysalis, and then you're about to start this brand new journey. You're about to hatch from your cocoon and start a brand new journey. Like I said, I'm not getting a clear indication of whether that's with this person or separately. It could go either way over here, but I do have some interesting advice when it comes to this connection as well. But definitely ready to launch out on that new journey, ready to set your ship to sail, all right? And we do have the heart as well. So a lot of love, okay? A lot of love. That's the card of love and romance. So wherever that ship is headed, it's headed straight for love, one way or the other, Capricorn. So even if that's the same connection or a new connection, you're headed straight for love and romance. So that's a lovely card to be seeing for you there, Capricorn. And now, when it comes to your advice, Capricorn, firstly, we do have the Rider. The Rider does talk about good news on the way. It's a very quick card. You know, so with the Rider, that's usually good news coming toward you. So I would sort of say that your advice would be to just hold out, it's coming. It happens really quickly too with the Rider. Like I said, he's really quick. The Rider is very swift, but it's usually good news, definitely good news. And we do see that good news is going to be communication. All right, so we do have the letter coming through next, and that is communication: texting, emailing, phone calls, in-person communication, all types of communication. So that Rider is coming in fast, you know, ready to communicate with you, Capricorn, and start new chapters as well. We do have the book. I do want to say that, you know, for some of you, the new chapter is into the unknown. All right. Sometimes this can have that unknown factor, like you don't know what comes next in the story. And I really feel with that Rider, you're not going to know what comes next. It does feel I am getting that really quick movement with that. And it feels quite unexpected. And that communication, you know, hopefully it brings to light whatever whatever was hiding up here with that disguise card. That disguise card too, I kind of feel like, you know, that could just be the mask that somebody wears as well, because you can see there it is that you know, like a costume party, and that woman wearing a you know, a masquerade mask there. So it could just be talking more about less hidden stuff, but hidden emotions, hidden parts of themselves. It may not be actual, you know, hidden facts or hidden things. It may be just hidden emotions coming through, because it does feel like that masking kind of energy where it's like somebody just hiding their true emotions about something. So maybe that's what this communication is in regard to, the true emotions, and revealing whatever that disguise card is hiding. All right. And we do have the book. So like I said, brand new chapters. That story hasn't even been written yet. So you're going to get an opportunity to write that story. And like I said, you know, it's heading straight into love. So hopefully that book, that story ends on a high note, I hope. Pardon. But you know, it really is that unknown factor, I feel, with this communication. It could, that story, like I said, it hasn't been written yet, so it could be like whichever way you want it to go. Like I'm getting that vibe of like a choose your own adventure book, where, you know, it could go any way. It could go straight back to this person and you reconciling. It could go to brand new starts. It could go to, you know, brand new chapters. It could go a lot of ways from here. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose, Capricorn, when that good news comes through and that communication comes through for you. Hopefully it's very soon. It does feel very fast and unexpected too. So I would actually say it may be very, very soon, Capricorn, within the next few days. Okay, so keep me posted. Let me know. Of anyone that does comment on any of my videos too, will go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. So definitely let me know. But also like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep updated as well. But moving over to our Aquarians. How are we today, Aquarius? Just looking at the person that you're not currently in contact with. Aquarius, and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Pardon? Sorry, Aquarius. Okay, firstly, we do have the responsibilities card coming through. Romance interrupted. Duties come first. Okay, so that's giving us a bit of an indication about something, you know, a possible reason of why we are in no contact at the moment. You know, one or both of you may have actually just had some other responsibilities, and love and this connection is just unfortunately not your priority at this time. There may be some other things going on for one or both of you. We also have the psychic connection card coming out there. That does say your communication goes beyond mere words. All right. So Aquarius, you guys are like, you know, my space cadets. Okay. So I don't mean that in any negative way. You know, a lot of people talk about Aquarius being, you know, like the most alien of all the star signs. So I know that there is a particular reader that I occasionally watch, what Auntie Karen with Enchanted Cottage 333. She talks about Aquarians being, you know, alien nations. So, but I have always thought of Aquarians as the space cadets, but mostly the masculines I've found in my personal experience. Every Aquarian male I have sort of met has had this lovely sort of space cadet quality. There was a particular Aquarian I knew, and he would actually refer to himself all the time as from another planet. I'm not even of this world. He would tell me, he would say, Michelle, I'm not even from this planet. I'm from a totally different planet. So you guys have always been, you know, like the space cadets of the zodiac. And I love it. Like, you know, bring on that alien communication. Is that just me that would, you know, love to meet an alien? I would be like so scared, but like once I got over the fear, I would be like, this is amazing. I'm meeting an alien. Like, such a weird topic. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that psychic connection. So you may be actually able to, you know, communicate with this person sort of telepathically and things like that. You may be sort of picking up quite a lot on their emotions and things like that. If you yourself have any, you know, connection to your own abilities, that may be something that you are actually able to do as well. So I know for me personally, I definitely am able to psychically connect with people at times. Not always, but at times. So, you know, it's definitely a possibility that you could be having this psychic telepathic connection with this person. Aquarius, and the person that they are not in contact with, please. Sorry for all my rambling, Aquarius. Okay, I'm kind of getting clarity of that responsibilities coming through there. I'll just get some advice for you as well, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. I am seeing here the coffin card firstly. So the coffin really does talk about it's like that death and rebirth, endings bringing new beginnings. So something clearly needed to, you know, end, or you know, as we saw with that responsibilities card, um romance interrupted. So you know, something's had to end, go on pause for a while. The coffin, sometimes it's not a direct ending. Sometimes it's just a period of, you know, pause, silence. So that no contact at the moment, something has needed to sort of end or shut down for a while, so that, you know, this person can focus on their wealth and abundance. I feel like this is probably the other person. This is probably the person that you're not in contact with. You may not even be aware of why you guys aren't in contact, but now you obviously will be. But this is the fish card, all right? So that does talk about abundance, financial wealth, all those sorts of things. With love, it can also talk about you know, exploring other options, looking at other fish in the sea. So that may have been their responsibility to themselves to actually explore their options fully. You know, I don't want to put that on too many people there, but you know, I feel for majority of you, this is someone whose career has taken over at the moment. I do feel as though, you know, that was why it needed to end at this time, go on a pause, was because they're really just focused on their career, is what I'm getting from that mostly there. I do also have the birds. All right. So the birds really does talk about a conversation that needs to happen about this. There may have been a serious conversation about this, and they may have sort of told you about their responsibilities and whatnot as well. But once again, I feel with that psychic connection card, you know, have this conversation with this person about what you need from them in the future, about the fact that you maybe need to have a conversation with them and come out of that no contact, even if that's just for closure for yourself, Aquarius. There is definitely some sort of conversation that needs to happen here within this connection, and that also that conversation may just be with yourself as well, about, you know, where you want to go from here, whether you're happy to accept that ending, accept that they've valued something else more than this connection. Have a bit of a D&M with yourself, have a deep conversation with yourself about the reality of this situation, because, you know, even if there is a psychic and energetic connection between you guys, we are seeing that the reality of this connection is that it is currently no contact, and it's probably for something that they have chosen other priorities over the connection. All right. Your advice, we do have the fox followed by the mice. All right. So the the fox is kind of a really clever, sort of to the point of being tricky energy, very cunning kind of energy. It does talk about independence and and all that sort of stuff. That self-survival as well. So your advice is to focus on yourself and to focus on your own survival. To the point of maybe even needing to be a little bit tricky and clever about the way that you are going about things at the moment when it comes to this connection. Because I do feel as though with the mice here, we do have with the mice, it does talk about loss in the past. It does talk about things eating away at you a little bit, all right? So you may need to be clever with yourself about the way that you're dealing with this and accepting that loss. So I do feel as though we are looking at, that fox energy. The fox can also sort of be like that shapeshifter energy as well. So I kind of want to say that it's kind of talking about, not allowing this to eat away at you, to, have that conversation, even if it's just in your head, have that conversation with that person about how you actually truly feel about all this and, and hopefully help yourself transform that from eating away at you so much, nibbling away in the back of your mind, but it like I am getting that vibe that that you do have this sense of loss, as an advice though, it's kind of talking about accepting the loss of this connection, unfortunately, there, Aquarius. But we do have the garden as well. So the garden, I feel in this sense, the garden really does talk about, somewhere restful, positive, and social. So it may be talking about, getting out and about again, getting back out there, meeting new people, all that sort of stuff. But also that, taking time to yourself. With the garden card, I do feel that a lot of the time we can be looking at things like, just getting somewhere restful, and positive for yourself, getting yourself to a restful, positive place, a tranquil place. You can see here we've got that garden bench in the middle of this beautiful garden, and so meditation, things like that. I feel that that's sort of letting us know that you just needing to spend some time, you know, maybe by yourself, somewhere restful and positive, like even an actual garden, somewhere amongst the flowers may be really beneficial to you at this time to help you sort of deal with this and work out exactly how you want to deal with this, how you want to accept that loss. But also getting back out there and meeting new people as well. All right. So I do feel for a lot of you, we are sort of, having to accept the loss, having to accept that has ended, that there is no contact, that the contact is looking like, um, with that, even with that birds and that conversation coming through with the birds, I am feeling that that's more to do with that psychic connection, and having that conversation with yourself, and psychically having that conversation with that person rather than physical contact or physical communication with that person. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, Aquarius. Let me know how that resonates for you, or let me know your opinion on aliens, because I love that sort of stuff. I'm a big conspiracy. I love all the conspiracies. I love just learning about them all, and half the time I don't necessarily believe some of them, but I really do love looking into conspiracy stuff. It's a bit of a thing for me. So aliens is definitely a topic I will love to hear all about everyone's opinions on that. Okay, but thanks for your time today, Aquarius. And moving over to our Pisces. How are we today, Pisces? I'm just looking today at the person that you are not currently in contact with. Pisces, and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Whoa. Nearly dropped the whole deck. Okay, so firstly, we do have magnetism. Okay, so there is a gravitational pull towards each other. So, this may have been a very strong connection. It may have felt as though you two were drawn to each other like magnets. And, it would have been quite strong. We do also see the physical connection is strong as well. The sacred union of bodies, two becoming one. All right. So there may have been something to do with an important physical connection. Okay. So two becoming one. I kind of feel like for some of you may have children with this person, because that kind of is really drawing me to that idea of creating a child. All right. So I don't know why that's standing out to me, but that physical connection, that physical union may have been quite important. It may have been that magnetism factor. All right. You guys may have been very physically connected, and that was that magnetism between you guys. But we'll see what the Lenormand wants to add for you. Pisces and the person that they are not currently in contact with, please. Pisces and the person that they are not currently in contact with. Either that, or I want to say too that there's probably some Pisces. I feel like for some of you Pisces that image of you and them having that physical union is just in your mind every day. All right. I feel like that maybe that magnetism factor once again. There's a certain memory to do with the physical connection that's quite strong when it comes to this person that you're not in contact with. Pisces and this person that they are not in contact with, please. Okay, and advice for our Pisces, please. Okay, I'll get to why I'm laughing, Pisces. Sorry, I shouldn't do that. Look at the cards and then just start laughing randomly. I do have on the bottom of the deck stars. Okay, so there is a big wish there is a big wish between you guys. That stars card is the hope, the optimism, the wishes coming true. So this is a big wish of yours that there will be actually contact between you guys once again. And I do kind of feel that there is an opportunity in the future, but it's not feeling like really super close. Okay, Pisces. I'll just let you know that straight up. Because what I'm seeing here when it comes to this connection, firstly, we have the caterpillar. Isn't he a cute little caterpillar on his little, is it a dandelion? I want to say it's a dandelion. But the caterpillar, it's kind of that phase, that beginning, that you're still growing. All right, you're sitting there eating as much as you can so you can grow this back together again. Like, so I feel as though the caterpillar is, it's a very interesting thing because it's the first stage of metamorphosis. Okay, it's the first stage of transformation, because the caterpillar then goes into its chrysalis and comes out the other side a beautiful butterfly or moth. Okay, and because in this deck we do have, these are brand new to this deck actually, so we've got the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and then the moth in this deck. Okay, so here we see the caterpillar, which is the first stages of this transformation, and this transformation is self-growth. All right, we do have the tree coming out next. So that's all about your self-growth. And this, I'm feeling it's going both ways as well. I feel like your person's energy is coming through quite strongly with these two. So I do feel as though they are also in their early stages of their self-growth. They're about to go through a big transformation. They're sort of just looking after themselves at the moment and starting to sort of work out exactly where they want to grow their tree, so quite interesting. They're sort of eating up and ready to go into their cocoon and start transforming themselves. All right, so they're really starting like with the caterpillar too, and that whole vibe of them eating everything, eating all the leaves so that they can go into their cocoon and start transforming. It's kind of like they're gathering knowledge, which that knowledge, symbolism is through the tree as well. And so it's like gathering knowledge about how do they grow as a person? How do they better themselves? How do they transform? So they're really starting to gather that knowledge of how they can transform themselves and, obviously this connection in the process. We do also have the dog. Okay, so we are seeing with the dog that strong kind of magnetism once again. That a man and his dog have this inane sense. But it is a friendship card, okay, but it does have a strong sense of loyalty and duty and support, all those sorts of things. So there obviously there is a strong connection between you guys, and we did see that physical connection at the top there, and now we're sort of seeing that emotional friendship connection between you guys as well. But it also is, I feel it is also letting that, with this self-growth, this transformation, that relying on your friends, relying on your support network at this time as well, but also staying loyal to that growth, is coming through quite strong. Because as your advice cards, you guys are going to love these. We do have the chrysalis coming through. Okay, so that's the next stage of that caterpillar. He's now in the cocoon. So your advice is to go into your cocoon, spend some time by yourself, really growing and metamorphosizing, transforming yourself, transforming this connection and the possibilities of this connection. So, like I said, I'm not seeing any direct contact between you guys. I feel like you guys are just in these early stages before we would be seeing any contact, needing to transform ourselves and take that time to ourselves before contact between you and this person would be possible. But I am finding that it's probably coming, but longer term. All right. Next, we do have the albatross, which the albatross is traditionally the cross card. So it actually does talk about that spiritual, religious element, having faith in God, allowing God, let go and let God is what I want to say with that. It really is talking about having faith that everything is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to. Having faith that you are going, you've been, we can see the physical representation here. All right, so you've been this caterpillar, you're now both in this cocoon. How do you know? How does the caterpillar know what that it's safe to go into this cocoon? How does the caterpillar know? Does the caterpillar know what's going to come out the other side? They don't necessarily know that they're not going to look like this little guy anymore. They go into this cocoon like this, and we all know they're going to come out totally transformed on the other side. But they don't know that. They just know that they are going to go and build this little house around themselves and cocoon themselves up all by themselves, and then they turn to total goo and get totally transformed. They turn to total, I don't know if you know about the life cycle of the caterpillars and stuff, but they do turn into like this goo. It's like they're not even a caterpillar anymore. They turn into just liquid goop inside this cocoon, and then they start all the goop regrows and turns into a butterfly. All right, so it's kind of like the caterpillar doesn't know that he's going to turn into total goop and come out looking like this total different creature on the other side. All right, and so what the albatross means is have faith that you are going to turn into total, even if you know you're about to turn to total goop, and that you're never going to be the same again. Having faith that you are going to become this beautiful butterfly on the other side of this cocoon time. Okay, so it's actually a really, I really like the imagery of that. It's actually a beautiful message, and having faith, it's definitely having faith that everything is happening for a reason. There's a strong pull of destiny coming through with that albatross card. It's like that sacrificing your caterpillar body and having the faith that you're going to come out the other side totally transformed, which you are. Okay. And then lastly, we do have the snake energy. Okay, so that actually directly links with that physical connection card. Okay, because the snake can talk about physical connection and physical intimacy. All right, so I do feel as though this is talking about contact between you and this person in the future. In a physical sense, you're going to have that magnetism is going to draw you guys back together eventually. I'm not feeling that it's going to be any time, soon, to be completely honest. It does feel a little bit further away, but I feel as though you guys are going to be drawn back together in that magnetism kind of way. And there definitely may be some sex on the table in the future between you guys. That two becomes one, all right? So we do see desire, passion, ambition with the snake as well. So I do feel as though you guys have this strong desire for each other, and it will sort of all work out at the end, having faith that it will all work out in the end, and that temptation to magnetize will come back around for you, Pisces. But like I said, it does feel like it's a little bit further away. So, maybe just chill out in your cocoon, turning to goop for a while, Pisces. Oh, sorry if that's a weird image for some people, I'm sure. But I really like that symbology. It's lovely. I quite like it. It's very interesting. But chill out in your goop for a while, Pisces, and let me know how you go. I hope that resonated for everybody. As always, if you do comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for a free personal reading. And hopefully I will see you all again soon.